Tashi Delek, how are you, everybody? Welcome back to Chenrezik practice. So, okay. Okay, so let's start. Okay, so sit in a nice relaxed posture. And then breathe in light. Breathe out. Again, breathe in. Breathe out. Again, breathe in. Breathe out. Again, breathe in. Fill your body with light. And then make sure in your mind you have faith, devotion, and bodhicitta. And then the motivation, the intention of why we are practicing this meditation is to bring forth all motherly sentient beings whose number pervade the vastness of space to the state of perfect and complete Buddhahood. So for that purpose, I will engage in this meditation. So think like that. And then we'll begin the meditation. So the Chenrezik text. Catch up the catch up. Sangye chedan tsoke chonam la jangchu barando dani chamsun che dagi gomde Gipe senam ke drohlai pencher sange drombarasho. In the Buddha, Dharma, and the noble Sangha, I take refuge until Buddhahood. Through the merit of meditation and recitation, may I accomplish Buddhahood to benefit sentient beings. In the Buddha, Dharma, and the noble Sangha, I take refuge until Buddhahood. Through the merit of meditation and recitation, may I accomplish Buddhahood to benefit sentient beings. In the Buddha, Dharma, and the noble Sangha, I take refuge until Buddhahood. Through the merit of meditation and recitation, may I accomplish Buddhahood to benefit sentient beings. Semchen Tamchen Dewa Dan Dewe Judan Dembara Juru Chi Dunga Dan Dunga Ge Judan Dewara Juru Chi Dunga Mebe Dewa Dan Midre Wara Juru Chi Nere Chadan Dan Darwe Tanyom Seme Pala Ne Para Juru Chi. May all sentient beings have happiness and the cause of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the cause of suffering. May they never part from happiness that is devoid of suffering. May they rest in boundless equanimity, free from the partiality of desire and hatred to near and far. May all sentient beings have happiness and the cause of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the cause of suffering. May they never part from happiness that is devoid of suffering. May they rest in boundless equanimity, free from the partiality of desire and hatred to near and far. Then here, practicing Tonglen. And finally, dissolve all concept of great compassion, the meditator of great compassion, and all sentient beings who are the object of great compassion, into non-conceptual great emptiness. So in that state you rest, which is the absolute bodhicitta. Okay, and then when you rise from that state, then you generate the deity. Okay, page 3. Da song kan chan sim jengi chi tsu pe kar da wei ting shri le pa cho Chenrezik Kar se zere ngai dentro ze zung tu je chengi zi cha she dang bo tar jaran ze o ni she chen pe kar nam dara dan rin chen gengi che Rindam pan be de yos by me be urgen chen shab ni doroje kel trushu Dhime da waraja temba chane kundu ngoro juru. Above the crown of all sentient beings is a white lotus with a moon seed. upon which is the free syllable that arises as the Supreme Noble Chenrezik. He is luminously white and radiating out 5 color lights. He is handsome, smiling and gazing with eyes of great compassion. He has 4 arms, the 2 upper hands are joined in prayer gesture, while the 2 lower hands hold a crystal mala and a white lotus. He is adorned in silk and jewels, and wearing a deer skin on his shoulder. His head is adorned with Buddha Amitabha on the crown. He is seated with 2 legs in the Dorje Kiltron, and resting his back on a stainless moon. He becomes the essence of the embodiment of all refuges. Jo kenge mange kondo kar zo sange ke ulagen tuje chenge dola ze chenrezek la chansen. Jo kenge mage kondo kar zo sange ke ulagen tuje chenge dola ze chenrezek la chansen. Jo kenge mage kondo kar zo sange ke ulagen tuje chenge dola ze chenrezek la chansen. O Protector, you are unstained by any fault. Your body is white in color. Your head is adorned with the perfect Buddha. You look unto beings with eyes of great compassion. I pay homage to you, Chenrezik. O Protector, you are unstained by any fault. Your body is white in color. Your head is adorned with the perfect Buddha. You look unto beings with eyes of great compassion. I pay homage to you, Chenrezik. O Protector, you are unstained by any fault. Your body is white in color. Your head is adorned with the perfect Buddha. You look unto beings with eyes of great compassion. I pay homage to you, Chenrezik. Pamba Chenrezik Wandang Chocho de Sun Shumba Yin Gewai Seche Tamche La Kunne Dangwe Chanze Loi Medo Dube Marmedri Shaze Rolmon La Son Pai Ngejuro Yike Turnebe Pambe Tsoge Sheso Se Tomai Mene Dade Bar Mige Chudan Tsaming Hai Semni Nyenmo Wangjurbe Dikpa Tamche Shambaragi Ninte Range Changshu Sem Soso Kewo Laso Ben Desum Kewa Chesabe Senam Lani Daye Ran Semche Namge Sambaida Loye Jendran Jeda Warai Chechon Tunmon Tekpaye Chege Korlo Kordose Jese Madon Bar Nyange Medai Shosunde Dunga Jansoro Jengwaye Semchen Namla Zeksusa Dagi Senam Chesamban Tamche Janshu Jurjuroni Ringboro Mento Roaye Jembe Pando Danjuroche. Page 5. To the Noble Chenrezik and to the 10 directions and 3 times Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, I pay homage with utmost respect. Flowers, incense, lamps and perfumes, food, drinks, music and so forth, I offer these in actuality and manifest it through my mind. Please accept these assemblies of noble ones. From timeless beginning until now, all the 10 non-virtues and the 5 inexpiable actions, and my mind under the influence of afflictive emotions, I confess all of the negativities that I have committed. On the Shravakas, Pratyeka Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, and individual beings and others virtues that they have accumulated, and will accumulate in the 3 times, and in the merit they have gained I rejoice. According to the wishes of sentient beings, befitting the various capabilities of their intellect, on the vehicles of the greater, smaller, and common, I request you to turn the wheel of Dharma. Until cyclic existence is completely emptied, do not enter into nirvana, but with great compassion for those drowning in the ocean of suffering, I request you to look upon sentient beings. Whatever virtue I have accumulated, may it become a cause for Buddhahood. Without delaying further for all sentient beings, may I become the glorious one of the Liberator. So Lama Chenrezik so Idam Chenrezik so Pacho Chenrezik so Jamgen Chenrezik so Jamgen Chenrezik Tuje Zishe Gawa Tuje Jen Tame Korowara Dhamme Chamjur Chenzeme Doma Nyongwe Dowala Gembo Kenle Chaje Mache So Nam Ken Sangye I pray to you, Lama Chenrezik. I pray to you, Idam Chenrezik. I pray to you, Supreme Noble Chenrezik. I pray to you, Lord of Refuge Chenrezik. I pray to you, Lord of Loving Kindness Chenrezik. O victorious, great, compassionate one, hold us with great compassion, wandering countless lifetimes in endless cyclic existence. Sentient beings have experienced unbearable suffering. They have no other refuge beside you, O Protector. Bless them to achieve omniscient Buddhahood. I pray to you, Lama Chenrezik. I pray to you, Idam Chenrezik. I pray to you, Supreme Noble Chenrezik. I pray to you, Lord of Refuge Chenrezik. I pray to you, Lord of Loving Kindness Chenrezik. O victorious, great, compassionate one, hold us with great compassion, wandering countless lifetimes in endless cyclic existence. Sentient beings have experienced unbearable suffering. They have no other refuge beside you, O Protector. Bless them to achieve omniscient Buddhahood. Tome Dune Lengen Sanbe Tu Shedan Wangi Nye Warai Ke Jurute Tsadang Nyongwe Semchen Na La Cho Ke Drundu Ke Warasho. through the accumulation of negative karma from beginningless time, gives birth in the hell realm. May all sentient beings who are experiencing the torment of heat and cold be born in your presence, Supreme Deity. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Tome Dune Lenge Sabe Tu Sene Wangi Indane Soke Te Kondunga Nyongwe Semchen Na Shing Cho Ponta La Ru Ke Warasho. Through the accumulation of negative karma from beginningless time, the force of greed gives birth in the hungry ghost realm. May all sentient beings who are experiencing the torment of hunger and thirst be born in the supreme pure realm Potala. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Tome Dune Lenge Sabe Tu Te Mo Wange Du Doro Ke Joro Te Lenko Dunga Nyoe Semchen Khenpo ke ke Dondo ke warasho. Through the accumulation of negative karma from beginningless time, the force of ignorance and stupidity gives birth in the animal realm. May all sentient beings who are experiencing the torment of ignorance and stupidity be born in your presence, O Lord Protector. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Tome Dune Lenge Saipe Tunde Chawange Miye Suke Del Pondunga Nyongwe Semchen Nande Wa Chenge Shindu Ke Warasho. Through the accumulation of negative karma from beginningless time, the force of desire gives birth in the human realm. May all sentient beings who are experiencing the torment of constant toil and poverty be born in Devachen Puram. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 me ho. Om mani padme ho. Tome dune lenge sabe tu tado wange chame ne suke tabze dunga nyongwe semchen Nam-pa-ta-la-ye Shin-do-ke-wara-sho. Through the accumulation of negative karma from beginningless time, the force of jealousy gives birth in the demigod realm. May all sentient beings who are experiencing the torment of fighting and quarreling be born in Patala pure realm. Om mani padme ho. 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 Tome dune lenge sabe tu ngage wange flaye ne suke podong dunga nyongwe semchen Nam-pa-ta-la-ye Shin-do-ke-wara-sho. Through the accumulation of negative karma from beginningless time, the force of pride gives birth in the God realm. May all sentient beings who are experiencing the torment of death and downfall be born in Patala pure realm. Om mani padme ho. Om mani padme ho. Om mani padme ho. Om mani padme ho. pe me ho. Om mani 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 pe me ho. Dani kishin kewa tamchen du Chenrezik zeba tsungpa ye madan shinge dronam drolwa dang sungcho yikdo chonchur genpara sho pacho kela sewa tabe tu dagin duljara jurben rowa nam ledre tulen gewe lelai zen Roe dendo chedan dembara sho. Through all of my lifetimes, may I, with the conduct similar to that of Chenrezik, liberate all beings from the impure realms. May the supreme speech of the 6 syllables spread in the 10 directions, by the power of fervent supplication to you, Supreme Noble One. May all beings who become the individuals to be tamed understand cause and effect and exert in virtue. And may they be endowed with the sacred Dharma for benefiting beings. The Dara and Zeje, Senda and Ben, Pabe, Kule, Wezerete, Mada, Lena, Trulsheja. Chinne dewa jenge shin nanchu kedro lunga sem chenre sewang kusung to nandra rikton ereme juru. From praying like this one-pointedly, light radiates out from Noble One's body, purifying impure karmic appearance and deluded concepts. The outer world becomes Devachen pure realm. The body, speech, and mind of beings within that pure realm become the wisdom body, speech, and mind of Chenrezik. All sight, sound, and awareness become inseparable from emptiness. Om mani padme hum shri 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 Om mani. Om mani padme hum shri Om mani padme hum shri Om mani padme hum shri Om mani Om mani padme hum shri 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 Om mani Om mani padme hum shri Om mani Namani bime hunde mani bime hunde mani bime Mani bime hunde Dajen le nam pambe kun danda yinge drupe yang Dendo yeshe chembo long. I and others who appear in form is the wisdom body of the Noble One. All reverberations of sounds are the melodies of the 6 syllables. All recollections and thoughts are the vast expanse of the supreme primordial wisdom. Gewan diye nyundo da Chenrezik drowa chikchan malu deye sala gembarasho. Through this merit may I quickly accomplish the powerful Chenrezik. Without leaving a single sentient being behind, may they be placed into the state of Chenrezik. Tendarangom dengim pese namke Dain 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 lain den ton dro wai kun Me zan lun de boro wai juro mai ta De wai chen du zun den ke warai sho Ke mai tai tu sai chu ram ne Chumbe cho churu shinden jen parasho. Through the virtue of performance of the meditation and recitation in this way, may I and all beings who are connected with me, as soon as this impure body is left behind, may we be born miraculously in their watching. Having taken the birth there and traversing the 10 bhumis, may our emanations spread in the 10 directions and perform the benefit of others. And then the next part, Chenrezik, page 21. Visualize all sentient beings along with us, with their body and speech and mind, offering prostrations, and then reciting the Mani Mantra and the refuge prayers, and then cultivating bodhicitta from their hearts. Manam kadanyambe semchen tamche lamai sangye rinpoche la chamsun che wo. Manam kadanyambe semchen tamche sangye chedan gende namla chamsun che wo. Manam kadanyambe semchen tamche lama yendam kandre sonlai chamsun che wo. Manam kadanyambe semchen tamche rangsem tongsal cheke kulai chamsun che wo. All motherly sentient beings equal to space take refuge in the Lama, the precious Buddha. All motherly sentient beings equal to space take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and the Sanghas. All motherly sentient beings equal to space take refuge in the hosts of Lamas, Siddhams, and Dakinis. All motherly sentient beings equal to space take refuge in one's emptiness and luminous mind, Dharma, Kaya. All motherly sentient beings equal to space take refuge in the Lama, the precious Buddha. All motherly sentient beings equal to space take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and the Sanghas. All motherly sentient beings equal to space take refuge in the hosts of Lamas, Siddhams, and Dakinis. All motherly sentient beings equal to space take refuge in one's emptiness and luminous mind, Dharmakaya. Om Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum. Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum. Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum. Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum. Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum. Mani Padme Hum, 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 Mani Padme Hum. Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum. Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum. Mani Padme Hum, 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 Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Page 23. Le dan lomboro ken le jurba ye den dan ne dan dunga jungwa so semche ye me dewe ne nam ke jeten kamso jungwara majuro Chidara sheme tribe se jaje ke je lai le sem jebe Soto nige dunga jine pa jeten kamso jungwara majuruji Chindai shinje kanai tsuban darai nige minzam tebe jajebe Ninje padan tabe rimsoi ki lujen kulai ne parai majuruji Nibe gere tontrai ge jundan lobro yedro sumjai drujudan Shija zaji nilai soba ye lujen kunlai sewara majuruji Lusim dewai malu tongjenbe jongje tongbe dunge jeneba Malu shijen dangdoi denbai dain tseren me deke denbarash Lamai kenjo sumge toje dain kandro chechon sume nutu dan Lejen luwai mebe dendopke Nguwai melam tatse barasho. Back to page 23 in English. A reason from the karma and adventitious conditions, the demonic attack, diseases, and harm from spirits, and so forth. All of the illnesses that discomfort the minds of sentient beings, may they never rise in the realm of this world. like the animals herded by a butcher to the slaughterhouse. In an instant their bodies and minds will be separated. Likewise, however many suffering there might be of illness that take lives away, may they never arise in the realm of this world. Like those who have fallen in the mouth of the Shinje, the Lord of Death, those who are terrified merely by the name of illness, the plagues that torment for a day or constantly, may they never harm any sentient being. May the 80,000 types of harmful spirits, the 360 adventitious negative persons, and the 404 types of diseases not harm any sentient being at all. That which robs of the happiness and comfort of the body and mind, whatever kind of suffering of the imbalances of the four elements, may they be pacified, and may beings have luster and power. May they live long, have peace and happiness, and be free from illness. By the great compassion of the three rare precious jewel lamas, by the blessings and power of the Dakinis, Dharmapalas, and protectors, and by the power of the truth of the unfailing cause and result, may all measures of dedications and aspirations that are wished here be accomplished. Through this merit may I attain all-knowing omniscience, and may all enemies of defilements be vanquished. May all sentient beings pounded by the turbulent waves of birth, aging, sickness, and death be liberated from the ocean of cyclic existence, just as the heroic Manjushri realized, and Samanta Bhadra too. I will train in their examples and perfectly dedicate all of these virtues. All of the conquerors of the three times, in whichever way they supremely praise dedication, I too will perfectly dedicate all of my roots of virtue for the excellent conduct. May the supreme precious Bodhicitta arise in whom it has not a reason. Where it has a reason, may it not decline, but may it prosper more and evermore. Okay, thank you very much everybody for joining Chenrezik. And today is Saturday. We have some questions and answers. So Saturday we kind of made like we would take some questions and try to answer some of the questions people ask. So today's question, a series of questions. I'll read out the questions first. How does pure perception help at all during events like pandemics? Then the next question says, Khenpo, why did Patrul Rinpoche say not to waste time with other practices and just recite the Mani Mantra? Then the next question says, Hi Khenpo, what teachings do I use when someone is being aggressive or abusive and I feel pulled into their negative energy? Then there are 4 non-Buddhist themed questions. Why do Buddhists believe in hell realms? Don't all sentient beings have Buddha nature? Is Anathema the same as emptiness? Anathema means selflessness of ego identity is Anathema. Dagmed is meaning Dag is self and Atman. Anathema means selflessness. Is selflessness the same as emptiness? That was the question asked. Next non-Buddhist themed question is, how can a non-Buddhist on a spiritual path become more peaceful using Buddha's teachings? And then the last non-Buddhist themed question is, if Buddhists are supposed to be non-attached, why is it stressed to meditate and do rituals? Okay. First, pure perception. Pure perception is to see the purity in everything. And when we say pure perception, some people think, oh, this is black, I have to visualize it now as white. That's some people kind of have idea like that. Pure perception means pure by nature. And Lama, especially these kind of teachings come in the context of Tantra, sacred outlook. When one is initiated to the dimension of deities, meaning the phenomena of deities, the phenomena of mantras, the phenomena of meditative concentration, such levels or dimension of teachings are initiated, then we talk about pure perception. It's a dynamic outlook of seeing beyond our limited vision or limited mentality. So then the deity phenomena are introduced. So appearance, right now how we see is appearance, solid appearance. But in the teachings that is initiated, as we mentioned, like in the deity phenomena, then appearance is appearance and emptiness. And sound that we hear, like the speeches, like the harsh words that we are attacked and so forth, then we see that it is sound, excruciating sound that penetrates our feelings, our mind, and then we get hurt. That's kind of, so we hold to it as real, solid sound. But then again, as we are initiated into such teachings, then we are taught that it is sound and emptiness, like echoes. Like you go to a mountain and you swear to the mountain. The mountains don't care what you're saying. Or the word that you shout out to the mountains, and it comes back and echoes, and then you get to hear it, and you don't get hurt with it because it's echoing and coming back to you. Now you know it's the sound that you made, and it's coming, bouncing back onto you, like that. So sound and emptiness, like that. And then mind, all this thoughts that rises in our mind, all this thoughts, good thoughts, bad thoughts, mediocre, average, or mild thoughts, whatever you want to call thoughts that occur, thoughts that kind of torment us, thoughts that we like and so forth, we consider to be real, just like in our dream, those projections that we hold to be real, like that. But then again, in these level of teachings, when we are initiated to such teachings, then we are taught these thoughts and recollections are just like unreal appearance or unreal projections, like in our dream. They are just the nature of awareness and emptiness, that are just the nature of awareness and emptiness, like that. So this is what we are initiated, like dynamic outlook or pure perception. And they are truly that way. Appearance are appearance and emptiness. Sound are sound and emptiness. Thoughts and recollections are awareness and emptiness. But then, in our countless life forms that we have taken, we have habituated with this, thinking that these are real. This form are real. This sound are real. These thoughts are real, and so forth. We have habituated ourselves in this way, and we have been tormented. We have been troubled because we think so. We think in this way, and that is how we have been tormented by this projection, the habit of our own self. That habit creates karma. That karma is the projection, and then we see, we experience, we feel that way. So however we see, however we feel, is the projection of our habit. So then when we practice this level of teachings, then we are taught, practice pure perception. See or contemplate or cultivate whatever you see as pure, as appearance and emptiness, beyond our limited mentality of how we perceive objects. We think it is real. Colors are real, the shape are real, everything real, their size, they cannot change, they have to be that way, like that. We have very rigid way of how we grasp onto those objects. Then, we suffer, just like in our dream. The appearance of the projection of the dream appear, and then we grasp onto that projection. And however we grasp, if we grasp it to be true, then that much suffering we'll have. If we grasp to be unreal, then lesser the suffering it will be. So in that principle, or in that kind of way, the teaching has been taught, this pure perception. So it is not like, think of that black thing as white. That isn't the case here. We are talking about whatever we perceive, whatever we hear, whatever we think, are in their true nature pure. So try to cultivate that purity. Always think beyond your limited judgment, your limited perception. So that is what it is meant by pure perception. So, and it has profound meaning. We cannot just kind of explain this in just few words. There is a lot of because it is profound, because it's a vast subject. So now what it means here is pure perception is a sacred outlook. You look beyond our limited perception. Say, for example, I think this question comes later, so it will be answered together, but so I will kind of hint when we are talking about that same thing. So there is another question that I saw, the answer would be pretty much the same. Okay. So pure perception is that way, and it helps us, because then we see the suchness of. And if we practice in this way, because we are practicing the way it is, the way it should be, the way it is, the nature how it is, if we practice, then it will be fruitful. then it will manifest, then it will actualize. And since we sentient beings have kind of habituated thinking that this is how it is, of what it is not, and we have suffered. So all our lifetimes, countless lifetimes, we have always thought form to be real. But in fact, form are not real. Appearances are not real. But we had always conceptualized form to be real, and then we have suffered for they're not real. We had been always conceptualizing, and we had been thinking, we have habituated ourselves thinking that it is real. We have suffered. And we have no idea, we still keep on doing that. So in these teachings, they teach us about pure perception. So if you practice in this way, then there will be good result, there will be fruitful outcome of it. So pure perception is that. So just short, we cannot talk long about it, but pure perception is a very good subject. It's very helpful, pure perception, okay. And in that context, like deity, mantras, samadhis, suchness such as dharmata, dharmakaya, dharmatatu, and so on and so forth come. So that's quite complex. Anyway, the next question: why did Patrul Rinpoche say not to waste time with other practices and just recite the Mani mantra? Whenever a Lama composes or teaches and so forth, he emphasizes on that particular point. So when Patrul Rinpoche wrote this virtuous Toktaparsum Gevetam, it's called the virtuous speech in the beginning, the virtuous speech in the middle, the virtuous speech in the end. It is a practice on Chenrezik. So there he mentions that Chenrezik is the quintessence of all deities, all Mani mantra is the quintessence of all practices, and so forth like that. It does not mean that Patrul Rinpoche did not teach other kind of teachings. So for those who are like mainstream practitioners, then having taken preliminary practices, Patrul Rinpoche gave the main phase teachings on creation, completion, great completion, and so forth. But then for ordinary people who don't have the time to follow those kind of progression, then he gave this quintessence kind of teachings for them. So, and then at that time, then saying, don't waste your time drooling on some other practices and so forth, and then just practice one, because Chenrezik is the quintessence embodiment of all deities. All deities converge, all condense within Chenrezik. In a mind who does not understand deity, then they will see deities to be different. But when you understand all deities are wisdom embodiments, and within the realization of wisdom, they are inseparable. So that is what Patrul Rinpoche is saying. So just practice Chenrezik. And then you don't have to waste your time doing other kind of recitation, because Mani mantra is the quintessence that will accomplish all. So recite the Mani mantra. So that is the reason why Patrul Rinpoche said that. It didn't mean that Patrul Rinpoche didn't mean to say, oh, you don't have to practice creation, completion, and dzogchen, and so forth. It was meant for those who are wasting their time, fooling themselves, thinking that they are doing creation practice or completion stage practice, Mahamudra, dzogchen, and so forth. And that is where Patrul Rinpoche says, like in the hell realm, I've seen a lot of practitioners who have been practicing dzogchen and Mahamudra and so on and so forth, but I've never seen a bodhisattva wandering in the hell realm. So that's what it means. So if you practice Chenrezik, that's perfect. That because Chenrezik is the quintessence embodiment of all deities, all mandalas spring forth from Chenrezik. So, and then Mani Mantra is, when you recite Mani Mantra, all mantras are subsumed within that mantra. So there is nothing left out. The next question says, Khenpo, what teachings do I use when someone is being aggressive or abusive and feel pulled into their negative energy? Compassion, great compassion. That's the Buddha's prescription. No other practice. No practice of any worldly skills do you need to practice compassion. So you just meditate, and whatever you hear that other person cursing you, like, swearing, or what you say, cursing, all blames and so forth. Remember the story of Buddha Shakyamuni sitting on that he sat on the kusha grass. The kusha grass is like, you see those kusha plants? Kusha grass, that was the seat he had. He didn't have like lofty cushions or those kind of nice cushions like we use right now. He just had on top of a flat rock or like a tree, he had few stalks of kusha grass, and he sat there, and then he vowed, like, even if my flesh and bone fall apart, I will not rise from this state until I achieve realization. That was the vow he made. And then now you have this battle between Mara. Mara is sending Mara's emanation, Mara's army, hordes of, they're shooting arrows of hatred toward Shakyamuni, who is sitting there in samadhi. And then nothing disturbs Shakyamuni, Siddhartha, let's say, Siddhartha. At this particular point, he's Siddhartha. He hasn't attained fully Buddhahood, because he's still in samadhi to realize the true nature. So he's still there. And Maras and all the armies of Maras are shooting arrows of hatred and jealousy and all of those toward Buddha Shakyamuni. He remains undisturbed. And these arrows turn into, in the picture it's depicted that these arrows turn into flower blossoms. It doesn't heed them. Everything turns into like flower offerings, like shower of flowers, and does not hurt Siddhartha. And likewise, Mara sends these 4 beautiful, seductive girls, very beautiful, very enchanting, and they dance in front of Siddhartha, trying to lure his attention or trying to, but Siddhartha is there, unmoved. And then all of these beautiful women, they become wrinkly, and they, become old, and they age and become wrinkly in front, and turn into like skeletons and fall apart right there. So that is the prescription of our teacher Buddha Shakyamuni, that when people start to bombard you with curses, accuses, blame, and all those things, just remain still and have compassion. Not just compassion, limited compassion. Whatever they say, you can just have pure perception, or you can have pure perception of yourself, like what I'm hearing is because of my own impure mind. I need to purify my mind. When my mind becomes pure, nothing will be impure anymore. So think like that, and then strive. Just kind of, work hard and be very intent, be very serious, focused on that one, never letting go of that one. Just like Buddha Shakyamuni, he said, until even if my bones and flesh fall apart, until I realize the true nature, I'm not going to move from here. So like that, until you see the true nature of their curses being just, like we told earlier, echoes, sound and emptiness. You have no reference to what they are talking about. It's just, you don't hold to those words as real. Just sound and emptiness. And in your mind, you are now raging. You are now kind of, boiling, becoming very hot. And your expression, your face is turning red, like bloodshot eyes, and you're trembling and so forth. At that time, then just rest. Think of Chenrezik, think of Buddha, think of Guru Rinpoche, think of Mother Tara, like that. And then you will just see these are just awareness and emptiness. And that's the way to deal. So other than that, all other worldly attempts will fail. We don't need to take them to court. We don't need to justify what they said or what we heard and so forth. Just be peaceful and do that. And they say, I feel pulled into their negative energy. Yes, don't let their negative energy stain you. Just be pure. Just be the light. And then the darkness cannot touch. When there is light, darkness can never take over the light. So like that. As long as you have that awareness of the Buddha's teachings, great compassion, skill, wisdom, if you have that, then nothing can stain you, nothing can disturb you. And their negativities are impermanent, their negativities are not powerful. However powerful the darkness may be, it can never fight with light. When there is light, will always dispel darkness. Okay. Now to our non-Buddhist themed questions. Why do Buddhists believe in hell realms? Buddhists believe in hell realms. Buddhists believe in hell realms because Buddhists believe in mind. Buddhists believe in mind. Everybody believes in mind. It's not just Buddhists. Everyone believes in mind. And mind can project so many different projections. Goodness, bad, and so forth like that. So hell realm is a projection of the negativity of mind. We're not talking about someone constructed, someone commissioned hell realm. In the in Aryadeva's Bodhisattva Acharya, it is mentioned like the hell realm, the fires, the hot plates in the hell realm and so forth. Who created that? Who made that? You can say who created that. It's your own mind. Your own mind projected that. And then you fall into that trap. So when we say Buddhists believe in hell realm, it's not like there is hell realm that is as a punishment like in other traditions. you'll be punished and you'll be sent to hell realm. Not like that. Hell realm is a projection of your own mind. And when you have hatred, then you start commissioning your destination, where you will plunge and you will be burned and boiled and toasted to the degree that you created hatred. And then you'll be tormented and you will be trapped in there until you know to let go of that hatred. Till that duration, till that time, you'll be trapped, you'll be confined to that state. So Buddhist way of explaining hell realm is different from other ways of, or others, hell realm as it's spoken. So you can explore. I don't know if this is like saying non-Buddhist themed question, so I'm just answering to that one. But so maybe if you are a non-Buddhist, maybe you can study or read Buddhist texts and find out. I think for Westerners, there is this book called Myth of Freedom by Chogyam Trungpa Rinpoche, who is a very great Tibetan Lama who came, one of the first Tibetan Lamas who came to the West and taught Westerners, and then he understood the mentality of Western mind, and then he taught from their perspective. So you can read that one. In terms of mind, we are not different. Everyone has that same kind of mind. We have that mind. Sentient beings, others, insects have mind. So in terms of mind, we are very much same. We feel, when someone hurts us, we feel the pain. Likewise, when we hurt animals or birds and so forth, they hurt too. And when someone treats us nice, we feel happy. Likewise, when we treat animals, birds and so forth, they feel happy. That kind of mindset is there for everybody. But the mentality is slightly different. So Asians have their mentality, Westerners have their mentality, because mentality is kind of cultural and how they were educated. And of course, they also have from their previous lifetimes and so forth. So anyway, why do Buddhists believe don't all sentient beings have Buddha nature? That questions, don't all sentient beings have Buddha nature? I think that's not a Buddhist, non-Buddhist themed question. So all sentient beings have Buddha nature. Yes. All sentient beings have Buddha nature. That is actually taught in the third turning of the wheel of Dharma. It is not taught at an early stage. At an early stage, Buddha talks about suffering, the cause of suffering, the freedom from suffering, and how to achieve the freedom of suffering, like that. And then again, people kind of bring their own habitual pattern in their path, and they get caught in that, and they start to get caught in that mentality, you could say. And then they again cause obstacles in their path, and then Buddha had to again teach further clarification, like the teachings on emptiness, the teachings on characteristics-lessness. That again they bring their mentality, and they start to now project that emptiness into some kind of conceptual projection of emptiness and so forth. And Buddha again had to give further more profound teachings. And this time then Buddha gives the teachings on the essence of Buddhahood, or the Buddha nature. The Tathagata Garbha, it's called the seed of Buddhahood. That all sentient beings, inherently within their being, within their mind, there is Buddha nature. So then if they practice, if they cultivate the practice, then they will become Buddha. If they never had the seed in their being, however much they tried, they would never be able to blossom Buddhahood. Just like the example, if you squeeze sesame seed, you'll get oil, because there is all potential in the sesame seed. But if you squeeze sand, you'll never get oil, because it has no potential for oil. So similar to that example, that all sentient beings have Buddha potential. And then if they practice, they can actualize, they can bring forth Buddhahood. So yes, all sentient beings have Buddha nature. Even those in the hell realm. Sentient beings means all who have mind, who have this feeling, like who want pleasure, who don't want suffering. That is coming from the mind. So whoever has that mind, yes, has Buddha nature. Is Anathema the same as emptiness? Anathema, as I mentioned earlier, Atman means self. And A is like, in the Sanskrit, it's a negation. So selflessness. Selflessness, there are two ways of selflessness. One is the selflessness of ego. Another is the selflessness of phenomena. So right now we think I am I here, and all that is external is outside there, or all others are external, like that. So then this one we see as we have form, like we have body and our feeling and so on and so forth, like that, our senses, our consciousness and so forth, so like that. So that one is considered as a personal self. And whatever is outside, that is called the phenomenal self, elements, earth, water, wind, fire, space, and so forth, as phenomenal self. So then the true nature of this one is how they truly are. And then what we think as like this personal self, we think we are, but we go on through so many life forms. And then there is this habit of ours that onto a collective aggregate. For example, when we observe a bacteria, or when we look through some kind of microscope, and then we see, maybe one will argue that there is form, there is like a body, there's a form, and then in that form, is there mind or not? Do they like, do they don't like? If they have that feeling of liking and not liking, disliking, and then surely there is a mindset, something that like, something they don't like. So they have mind. So then they have consciousness there. If there is consciousness, do they have feeling? Do they have feeling of like comfort and discomfort? Happy, unhappy feeling, like that. Then we have feeling there. And then do they have judgment? Do they have what is nice, what is not nice? What is good, what is not good? Do they have that? If they have that, then they should have some kind of perception. Well, we can take more closer observation, like the child, like the conceived child in the mother's womb. Abi go atsi damshada, kamo. Apa go damshada. So, yeah. And then whoever conceptualizes that these aggregates are mine, this is my aggregate, this is my body, this is my consciousness, this is my feeling, this is my perception, this is my judgment, and so forth. That is the self-identity, that is the personal self. So that is the ego. So, but the ego is actually a series of habit. And habit is mind. And then mind is actually confusion. Mind is a reason from not recognizing or understanding true nature, not knowing itself of its true nature. So its true nature is emptiness. Self, being empty of self, is Anathema. But when self does not recognize it to be selfless, then acts in this egotistic or in an ego behavior, I behavior, so forth. Selflessness of ego is one facet of emptiness. But emptiness pervades. Selflessness of ego identity, selflessness of phenomenal identity. So that's kind of short way of saying. Yes. So every being has ego, and the true nature of being as ego is selfless, and that is emptiness, because it's that Buddha nature, or that earlier your question was that Buddha nature. I think you are asking that same question. These three questions were grouped together. I hope you are the one who is asking. So these questions are kind of connected together. Okay. How can a non-Buddhist on a spiritual path become more peaceful using Buddha's teachings? Yes, we can become more peaceful applying Buddha's teachings. But when we say Buddha's teachings, the teachings of selflessness is Buddha's teachings. The teaching of compassion is Buddha's teachings. The teachings of emptiness is Buddha's teachings. The teachings that has no like cultural or traditional how would you say, like influence, cultural influence, conceptual influence, and so forth. This is the Buddha's teachings, and that will help, yes, if you use Buddha's teachings. If I want to become more peaceful and kind and so forth, I have to use Buddha's teachings, which is compassion, selflessness, and emptiness, which is wisdom. So I have to come up with, being less selfish, being more compassionate, being more wise, or saying here, being more having more skills of wisdom. So then whoever utilizes these three less of selfishness, more of compassion, more of wisdom will surely help. Anybody, it will help. Anybody who wants to use it. It's like, this glacier on this beautiful lake of pristine pure water. Whoever is thirsty can walk there and then drink it, will quench their thirst. Likewise, whoever wants to be peaceful, whoever wants to be free from suffering, then Buddhist teachings will surely benefit. If Buddhists are supposed to be non-attached, why is it stressed to meditate and do rituals? What was that question? It says, if Buddhists are supposed to be non-attached. Non-attached, as mentioned earlier in that series of teachings that Buddha gave, like when he taught on the Four Noble Truths, I mentioned how beings brought their habits there. And this, when you bring your habits, those teachings don't work. It's not that the teachings are ineffective. It's because you have your own idea of those teachings. You distort those teachings. You make your own commentary of those teachings. And then those teachings of the Four Noble Truths seem to not work. In fact, if you are actually implementing correctly, they are surely going to work. Buddha is talking about true nature of reality. Reality like our dream-like reality, to that one thinking that it is real, we're going to suffer. Dream is not real. Your holding on to dream will last forever. Dream is not true, but you are thinking that dream is true. And then so long you don't understand the nature of the dream, you think that it is blissful. It is not blissful because you don't recognize the reality of the dream. And then Buddha is saying, look into that. Understand the nature of your projected reality like a dream is just the nature of suffering. So like that. And then people bring their own habitual commentary on that one, and it doesn't work. And then don't bring your attachment there. We talk about attachment, and then we become very smart, we become very clever and cunning. Just like we easily find the loophole, or and we try to do that one. That's sentient. That's the smarty ego, like smart ego. And then for those smart kind of thing, smarty intellectuals, then meditation is important. Meditation is taught so that you can be on track, so that you don't fall off track, so that you don't create this conceptual ideas which you kind of cocoon, or you kind of trap yourself. Just like, remember, Buddha gave teachings on the next level of characteristiclessness. So meditations are like that. It's not like confining you to some kind of meditation is to implement the wisdom, what I mentioned earlier, the selflessness, the great compassion, and the wisdom. That is what you're doing. In your meditation, you're bringing forth that. You're enhancing, or you're developing, you're cultivating those qualities so it is blossomed in your meditation. Not like you're going to some kind of darkness and ignoring everything and remaining in that state. For example, someone asked this question, when somebody is cursing you or, bombarding their negativities toward you, now see, this is meditation. When you can remain in a state where you generate selflessness, great compassion toward those who are cursing you, who are blaming on you. You're generating your love, compassion, and then bringing forth the wisdom. Wisdom is that by doing so, by implementing this skillful method, that I will be able to overcome, then achieve peace, realization, liberation, to know the true nature of what it is, that those who you think now they're your enemies are just appearance and emptiness. Their words, those harsh words, are nothing but just sound and emptiness, and their intentions, which you thought it's coming from a negative point of view, are just awareness and emptiness. That is meditation. So that kind of meditation is actually free from attachment. What does it mean by should not have attachment? This is what it is. The practice of non-attachment is the implementation of what you heard of Buddha's teachings, what Buddha prescribed you. And when you put it into practice, that is called meditation. Other than that, there is no other kind of meditation. The New Age meditation. Close your eyes, gong, like the bell hits. Then you think, you astral travel. Oh, you are transported to this beautiful realm, a beautiful sphere. There is light and rainbows and so on and so forth. Think now you are floating in the sky and so forth like that. We are not doing that. This is just superficial. This is just, just luring or deceiving yourself. Buddhist meditation isn't like that. So, okay. And the rituals and so forth are how to enhance that selflessness, that compassion, that wisdom. So that's that ritual, that traditional ritual. If you're doing correctly, if you're doing it as how it is done, everything will be helpful. Everything kind of helps, because these are just like how you bring all the facets or all the conditions or circumstances together to make something blossom. So you have this perfect ground, and then you have this perfect healthy seed, and then you have all the fertilizers, and you have the perfect moisture or the water and all other conditions together, and then all you have to do is just relax and wait for it to blossom, because you brought all those conditions together, and you know for sure you ticked all of those conditions. So rituals are like that. When you bring all of those together, all you need to do is just wait for it to blossom the fruit, and the fruit will blossom. So that's the ritual. Okay, I guess I try to answer all of your questions, but here this is just kind of, I'm trying to answer it in a very short way that it kind of makes sense to you. But if you really want to learn about Buddha's teachings, then you have to approach an authentic teacher, not like hypocrite like me, like where you'll not learn anything from me. So you have to approach an authentic Lama, authentic teacher who has compassion, who has wisdom, and then when you connect with such kind of Lama, then naturally it will benefit you. If the connection is unbroken, when you plug your charger, then your phone kind of charges. Likewise, if there is the lineage, if they have the wisdom and compassion, if you connect with such lamas, then naturally your wisdom, your phone will be charged. Your meditation or your practice or your bodhicitta, your practice will blossom. Okay, everybody, stay well, take good care, and then keep practicing. Send your love and prayers to all sentient beings. Okay, whatever merit that we have accumulated from these questions of Dharma, may it benefit all sentient beings. May it quell all of the troubles, all of the pandemic, all these viruses, all this confusion, all this turmoil, all this unrest, completely, that we will enjoy just like how those beings in the fortunate eon, we say fortunate eon, completely endowed, where they just had to walk next to a tree and the tree would just blossom, you just had to stand next to a tree and you'd think about food, and food would be delivered. You had to think about water, and water would just, you had to think about clothes, and clothes were just so wish fulfilling. That's called Dzogdengi Kalpa. It was the time fully endowed when there was this eon, or there was this fortunate eon, where everything was completely endowed. They had no strife, they had no arguments, they didn't have to argue, because if you wanted, things would just appear upon a wish. So like that, let us all pray that all this unfavorable circumstances of samsara, this world, completely comes to an end, and sentient beings enjoy that completely endowed fortunate eon. Okay, everybody take care, stay well, and then have a very good evening. I will see you soon, okay? Take care, Tashi Delek, and bye-bye. Good night.